Hey guys, I'm Allie and welcome back to my channel. Today is Tag Tuesday, so I'm doing a tag for you guys. I don't know why I like dance with that now. What's the deal? The tag that I am doing today is kind of a tag that I think I'll probably be doing at the beginning of every year for like the rest of my booktube career. And that is the year-end superlatives tag. This tag was created by Book Olive, and I'll be sure to leave a link down to her video below, as well as mine from last year, which is cringeworthy. I did not start off last year very strong. Hopefully this year is much better. This is going to be really hard to narrow down because I did read 197 things in 2017, and I somehow had to cut all of those books down to fit into 10 questions. Yep, I am going to be doing 2 other videos, like my best and worst reads of the year, so stay tuned for that. Let's go ahead and get into this tag. Number 1 is most likely to be in the movies. A book that would just make a really good movie. I already don't remember what I picked for this. So my favorite movie genre is romantic comedy. Is anyone surprised? No, not really. I never get tired of it. So I recently read My New Crush Gave to Me. I read this near the end of the year. This is like a Christmas themed one, so that makes it like it's okay to be extra corny with this one. But this is about a girl in high school like hijacks the jingle that they're doing, the Secret Santa whatever, to get the guy that she has a crush on, but she has to team up with his cousin who she despises in order to find the perfect gifts for him, and she gets a little confused about who she has a crush on in the journey. I think this would just be a really cute like Christmas high school romance, like freeform, get on it. I want to see it next Christmas. One of my favorite like book to movie adaptations was The Duff. I don't even know why, because they're not even the same whatsoever. They're just like so fun to watch. Number 2 is Biggest Drama, King or Queen. Now, this is a book that was the most overly dramatic. The Stranger in the House. This was the book pick in October for the Spookathon. I think that's right. Oh, it's just very cliche, very predictable. The main character, oh my goodness, the things that she goes through, and it's just so overly dramatic and so overly planned, and just her life is just like, oh my goodness, chaos, and just all the characters in that are just so insane that it just like that book was just, it was all over dramatics, just going for it all. Basically about this woman that wakes up after a car accident. She has no memory, but she has been found near this place where this man was killed. Lead it back to her, and there's all kinds of secrets going on, and memory loss books are like my least fave too, so I don't even know why I felt intrigued to pick it up. Number 3 is Best Dress, the book with the best cover. This was so very hard to choose because there were so many great covers on the books that I read throughout this year, and I like them all for different reasons. Sometimes it was just the color scheme, sometimes it's just the way that it looked, sometimes it's different aspects on it. But one that was just overall the most impressive to me, like I had read an ebook of this and went and bought it just because the cover is gorgeous, and that is The Bone Witch. And actually they had announced what the second book is going to look like, and it's just as pretty. As you can tell, it's got this really nice purple kind of cover, and then it's got this gold detailing. There's this cool skull on here. It is like, it's got like lifted parts on it and stuff. Like this is sticking out. I don't know how to explain book covers. It's just so intriguing, and it's just so beautiful, and this is by far one of my favorite covers of all time. Like, someone make me a book this beautiful someday. It is slower paced. It's about a girl in this magical world. I'm not getting into it. That's too much of her. We need to keep it rolling. Number 4 is Most Creative. This is a book with the most creative plot, structure, characters, whatever. It's just the most unique book that you read. I read a lot of really interesting things this year. It was A Girl in 6E, which is about a cam girl that wants to murder people. There was, I finished off the Raven Cycle series. That was really different. I've been reading Saga. There's a lot of really different and interesting things that I read this year. The one that I was definitely most impressed with was Every Heart or Doorway, because one, it's so tiny, so it's like, how could this fit that much impact into it? But this story is just unlike anything I've ever read before, and this writing is unlike anything I've ever read before. It's like magical but straightforward, and I don't know how. How? Tell me your secrets. What is the sorcery? This is about like these doors that open up into these other worlds, and it's about these people that have gone into these doors and basically they've come back to the real world like years later, and they don't belong in the real world anymore. They belong in these other doors, but their doors don't ever come back. So they are sent to this home to kind of adjust, and you get to see people from all kinds of different doors. And it is just, on top of that, this is a murder mystery. Right? So much in it. Number 5 is most popular, and this is the book that has the most ratings on Goodreads. I reread Harry Potter this year, so naturally it's probably Harry Potter. I would check Goodreads. I already know that's going to be the answer, and I don't think it tells you like the top 10 things that were rated on Goodreads or something. I don't know. Number 6 is Most Likely to Succeed, and this is a book that you see, what am I seeing it doing? This is a book that is going to be appreciated for years to come. I have 2 books for this, and I don't actually own them, which is pretty sad. But one is We Should All Be Feminists. While I didn't think that this was like anything new to me, I can definitely see where this would be really helpful, like if it was like laid out in random places in the world and people picked it up and just enlightened themselves. Anyone who was a little unsure what being a feminist means. I mean, I've seen people that aren't even in the booktube community talking about it, so. And then the other one is The Hate You Give. Again, this has been like number 1 on the bestseller list for months. For a reason. It was just so impactful. It's just so relevant to today's time. It's definitely, I feel like, brought some light onto some harder topics that people tend to turn away from. And I thought it was just such a realistic story, so impactful, and I can definitely see this becoming like a modern classic or something. Just the subject of it is so important, and it's just relayed so well. Number 7 is The Class Clown. This is a book that made you laugh. Mine has to go to I Hate Fairyland, because this quickly became like my favorite graphic novel series just because it was so not what I was expecting. It's about this girl that goes into fairyland as a young kid, and she's like, okay, this is nice, but I want to go home now. And they're like, okay, you just have to go travel through the world and find your key. And it's like 30 years later and she's still stuck there, and she's so murderous, and she just goes around like causing all kinds of havoc and just being brutal, and I love it. There's so many puns and there's so many jokes towards like pop culture, and it's so funny. I was sitting in the airport reading like the 2nd volume, and I was laughing out loud, and people were like, what the hell? And it was just so good. Number 8 is Most Improved. This is a book that started off slow but really picked up at the end. For that, I am going with And I Darken. This has a pretty slow-paced story, but it's really necessary because it starts when they are kids and it is as they grow older, so you can kind of see the character growth in these characters. It definitely starts off slow, but there are some like exciting parts that keep you hooked. But by the end, you are just like so invested in the characters, so invested in their lives and the things that are happening. I didn't think I was gonna like this going into it, because when I started I was like, but by the end I was like, damn, that was a good book. So, plus it's beautiful. It's a Vlad the Impaler retelling, but Vlad is a girl. It follows Lada and her brother, and it is like them as they're younger and being sold to an empire basically, so like the war doesn't start, and living in this empire that isn't their own. And later on, like all these political things are happening, and it's so good. I swear, I know that anytime I mention politics I feel like someone's gonna be like glazing over, but I swear it's really good and it's easy to follow. Number 9 is The Cutest Couple, and I honestly did not read that many cute couples this year. Most of them were very sexually aggressive, or they were murderous books that I read, so I didn't read that many cute couples. Honestly, The Cutest Couple that I read was, I can't think of their names. Oh. But it's two girls from Lumberjanes, and Lumberjanes is a graphic novel series, and it's at this all-girls camp, and there's two girls. You can just tell that they are crushing so hard on each other, and I think in the later volumes it is like it's official kind of deal. I mean, you know, basically from volume 1 that they like each other, and they are just so stinking cute and so supportive of each other, and I'm here for it. And number 10 is The Largest Heartbreaker. This is a book that broke your heart. I ended up choosing 2 for this. There honestly weren't that many books that like made me super emotional. It's been a while since a book has just really made me sob, but there are 2 books. One is because of the events that happened in the book that just I was like so upset over. One is Nevernight, and this freaking book like has ruined my life in the best way possible. And this is about a female assassin that goes to assassin school. I don't know what happened to my voice. She goes to assassin school and shit gets intense. This one, the end of it, I like screamed and threw the book because I was just so upset about the things that was happening at the end of this. And I'm not going to mention anything else, but if you've read it, you know. Then the other one, which may come as a surprise because I don't ever really see anyone talking about this, and it doesn't seem like it would be like a heartbreaking book. But that is How to Break a Boy. This really caught me off guard. It was so relatable, and I was relating to parts, and just the passages in this were just so beautiful. There were some parts where I just like had to sit the book down because I was just like, oh my god, that's me. And it was such an incredibly impactful book on me, myself, and even though like the main character, like the storyline is pretty YA trope kind of thing. It's a fake boyfriend trope, which is the best, but it is about this girl, and she has basically been known, her and her friend are like the meanest girls in town. In order to like help get her grades back and like figure out what she's doing, she goes into like this fake relationship with this guy to kind of prove that she's like on track with life. And there was just so many parts in this that were just way more relatable than I ever thought they were gonna be. Just really made me cry. So hoping that was in focus. That's like the theme of my videos anymore. They're never in focus. So that was the year-end superlatives tag. I feel like I definitely wasn't able to do the 197 books justice that I read this year, but again, fitting them into 10 questions is kind of hard. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to see future Tag Tuesday videos from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!